what exactly do we mean by a story? I mean, we hear all this talk about storytelling. It's important to be a storyteller, or, the world is driven by narratives. And we have all these kinds of stories. We have stories like in books that kind of our normal idea of what a story is, and in movies, and in the theater, and in dance. And these all sort of take place over time. They sort of seem like what we would normally imagine as stories. But people use the word storytelling, and practitioners in various fields use the word storytelling to refer to things that we don't usually think of as stories. Like photographers talk about that each photo has to tell a story. And paintings is about storytelling, and architecture, and logo designers, and graphic designers. And there's brand storytelling, and there's presentations like I'm giving to you now, and websites that tell a story. And I'm a musician, your compositions have to tell a story, or your jazz solos have to tell a story. Clothing, fashion, that tells a story. Even food, if you've ever watched some of those competitive cooking shows, the judges might look at a dish of food and say, it's not telling a story. So the challenge we have at the very beginning is, what the hell are we even talking about when we talk about storytelling? So what I hope to do today is explore that question and leave you with some general concepts about stories and storytelling that can help you approach whatever kind of story you want to tell. So, what is stories all about? It really helps to answer a basic problem that we all face as humanoids. All of us are confronted with a vast, nearly infinite amount of data. The universe is the ultimate data dump. And if you think about it now, if you were going to itemize all the data that's coming into you right now, from your screen to what's going on inside your head, it would be just unbelievable. And, it's only getting worse in a way, right? We have all this new data literally from all these digital products, and AI is delivering even more stuff to us. And it's just, as people say, it's all too much. And you know what? It's always been all too much. Neuro researchers have discovered, and this has been discovered quite a while ago, that one of the major functions of the brain is to act as a reducing valve, as a filter of sorts, to filter out the vast majority of data that's coming in at any one time. And this makes sense as an evolutionary strategy. By filtering out most of the data, you're able to concentrate and focus on one thing, and you know how to act. And let me give you an example. Imagine you're 150,000 years ago, you're a proto-human out there in the savannah, and let's assume you were getting all the data coming in of the universe, of your world right then. It probably would be kind of mystical and trippy and maybe kind of interesting, but you wouldn't notice the one thing that was important was like some leopard that was about to eat you. So from an evolutionary point of view, we filter the data coming in. And from a cultural point of view, we do a similar kind of filtering mechanism. I mean, you could say we are wired up to filter out, and like I say, from biologically, but from culturally, we filter out in the form of stories. And like I said at the opening, we tell stories in all different mediums, and those mediums are increasing now that we have more and more media. So I want to get to the first main concept here of what a story is. A story is a filter. A story filters out a great deal of the data. Why? In order to give us a meaningful signal in the noise. There's a signal in the noise. And why is it meaningful? It's because it enables us to act. Something is meaningful when we know what to do with it, and it leads to action. If you think from the beginning, we have to tell a story. From the very beginning, when you're designing the study, there's going to be a story here. This is going to affect what questions you ask, how you imagine what might be possible answers. It might generate hypotheses of what things could be or not be. Of course, the data will reveal at the end what's really happening. But you got to think at the end, your work has no meaning unless you can communicate it. And that brings me to my final point here. The future is in meaning. We all hear this complaint. So we're in a meaning crisis. Nothing means anything anymore. And it's kind of true. There's so much data. There's so much stuff, and there's only going to be more of it. And the machines are going to tabulate it. It's up to us making our human judgment. This is where humans come into the picture. It's not a question of efficiency. It's a question of judgment. What is important right now? The other stuff might be important tomorrow or was important yesterday. What is important right now to solve your customers, clients' business problem? That's the business we're in.